Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Maverrik podcast. I'm Ropa Madziva, marketing manager at Maverrik, and today I am joined by Jason Gelios. Have I said that correctly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank God. Um, so do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Well, first off, thank you for having me. I love what you guys are doing. You're putting out that value. So you
Oh,
gained a
thank
fan.
you.
So my name's Jason Gelios. I'm a top producing realtor, author of Think Like a Realtor, and I'm an expert media contributor for advice across the globe from real estate to personal topics like overcoming fear, building up, the resilience that we need to get through tough times, things like that. So that's in a nutshell. That's a little bit about me.
A little bit about you. Yeah, that's great. So I think what you just said there about optimism and coming out of a hard time, especially just because of like the pandemic and everything that everyone's been through, that's really needed right now. So
That's
what channels do you use to do all of that to be everything that you are right now?
that's a great question. It's about knowing what your why is.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'm not the person that actually came up with this, why, but excuse me, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing and why you go out every day. You
Yeah.
know, for me, a big driver is family and also challenging myself. And so I like to have all my goals, all my visions put on paper. And so I keep a goal binder, whether it's short term or longer term goals, or even fantasy things,
Yeah.
like this and that. But because you have to have big goals, right?
Hmm.
And so when you have that in front of you, it invigorates you. It gives you that spark. Like, wow, you know what? I know things are tough right now, but I need to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And you know, but going back to knowing your why, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing. Um, you can't just go out into the world and say, okay, it's Monday, or okay, TGIF and all these things. I mean, there will be good days and bad days, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But overall, if you're optimistic on most of the days, I find that things work out better.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
and
good
it's,
to, sorry,
yeah,
carry on.
good. No, oh, okay. I was going to say that optimism is key because, like I know it takes more effort to smile than it does to frown, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but the more you smile, the better.
Yeah.
And people feed off of that. Whether you're in a meeting or you're at your job, it doesn't matter what you do, but when you're friendly and you're happy, it's contagious. Um, so I just think that, knowing your why
Hmm.
you're doing what you're doing, and having purpose, which is another topic about, finding your purpose and doing what you really want to do in your
Yeah.
life versus selling for average. I think that's all around key to get you through these turbulent times that we're going through right now.
Yeah, I think you were right. What you were saying just there about how smiling sometimes can be a little bit take more effort than frowning.
It
Some
does.
of your YouTube videos, I've seen some of them, and you're always smiling. You've always got a great attitude, always so positive. What made you start YouTube? What made you go onto that platform and start, engaging with an audience on YouTube?
Yeah, well, it's probably actually TikTok beat it, but it was the biggest website in the
Yeah,
world, the most traffic, and it's still huge. Um, I'm a big fan of YouTube personally, as far as, like you can go on there and, watch a brief clip from your favorite movie or show,
yeah,
and it's just so cool. So I was like, one day I was like, I want to have my own channel and I want to kind of push the value out there. And I love how it sort of documents your videos. I mean, sometimes I'll go through past videos and I'm just like, wow, that was a long time ago. Or, yeah, you know what? I did that video in between meetings that day and I remember that, So I don't want to say it's like a diary, but it's really cool to kind of see how things have progressed.
yeah.
And
I
like,
think
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. So to cut you off, I think it's a great way, like you just said, it's a great way to see how you progress and, even your views and stuff like that and your content style might change. So it's a great way to see, wow, like, look how I used to film here and now look where I am now and what I'm filming and the content I'm putting out there and how the value of the content you're putting out there has changed. I think it's a great way to document that.
Yeah, and it's also fun too.
Yeah.
Starting off, it can be a little bit intimidating.
Mhm.
I know when I first started off, I was doing take after take, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know this and that, or
Yeah.
but then I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna record in the moment. I do prepare for my shows, but I don't spend hours, quite honestly. I get these questions for my weekly show, the Ask Jason Gelios show, and I just share it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, it's shared from my car or from my home office that you're seeing, because I do have a rigorous schedule. I mean, I squeeze things in, and so I don't have a big production team, yet. That's actually
Yeah.
future plans where but for me, it's just, hey, put out the value, and people will see that I'm a real person, especially in my local area,
Hmm.
where the videos perform the best, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Matter of fact, it's funny. I'll share with you a brief story where I had a past client. They were on Facebook, and one of their connections and friends said, "Does anyone know a realtor?" Right? And so you can imagine all the names. Oh yeah, call Luke, call Jane, call
Yeah.
whoever. My past client put in there, "You should contact my guy Jason,
Yeah.
and by the way, he does videos." This person clicked the link to YouTube. It went back to YouTube. I also have all my videos on my website, but they all
Yeah.
link to YouTube. And so I actually got the phone call from this person because she really liked my videos. And I went out, I met her, and she said, okay, she didn't interview me to sell her property. She just said,
No.
when can you get this on the market? And that's the hyper local part of how video really helps, because people
Yeah.
can, they 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 see you, they see more of you before you even meet them.
That's
And then,
so true. Yeah.
right. And on that same note, if people don't like you by how you are on video, that's okay. Because you're not wasting time.
No, exactly. Yeah. I think what you just said there, so it's great because you do find through social media, you get to know people straight away. So your target audience and who you want to target, they find you easily. And then it's not time wasting. Nobody's wasting anyone's time. You
Yeah.
just find out, is this going to work? Can you do what I want for me? And can they do what you want? And it just works like that. Is there any other platforms that you use or is it just mainly YouTube?
So I take advantage of Facebook,
Yeah.
um, I'm sorry, um, my business page, as well as my actual personal page, which, quite honestly, the best referral source is my Facebook personal page.
Okay. Yeah.
Because people know me, family, friends.
Yeah.
You know, when somebody comments on my thing, their friends see it. Although I keep it partially personal and partially, business, of course.
But that's authentic. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a real person. I'll share
Exactly.
photos
Yeah.
with like my family, things like that. I started diving deeper into Instagram.
Okay.
Um, I like it. it's There's some things that I'm trying to learn on it. Like, I want to
Yeah.
get doing Instagram Reels.
Okay.
I'm looking into an app that basically chops up your video quick, so it's fun for people. I go on Rumble a little bit. I really try to, like, when a new platform comes out, I try to test it and see how it works.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter, because I know right now there's a lot of people that may be thinking, well, okay, if you're on this platform, you must think this way. No, it's all about the platform.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, like, I've been thinking about getting on TikTok. I don't know if I can commit to that, because I
Okay.
do think that if you try to spread yourself too thin, you're not going to be as focused and as good. So I really try to stay on the major platforms, and if that shifts, that's fine. I know TikTok keeps coming up, so who knows? I might be on that soon. Um, but no, it's there's that. LinkedIn is great
Yes, of course. Yeah.
business connections. I've gained a pretty decent following on there. Um, and the by the way too, the more you do on these platforms, the more you will get, like sales calls from
Yeah.
companies, because you're putting yourself out there. So they'll say, hey, do you need help with your website? Do you need help with this? You got to just know that you're doing something right if people are
Yeah.
finding you. Um, I've had a lot of people. I still do actually. I've had people ask to be a guest blog writer
Oh,
on my
wow,
blog.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and the blog I started doing um, more and more the past probably 6 months. I started posting like the articles that I've been in. I share, hey, by the way, check out this article from this site or that site. I'll share my videos on there. I'll share something fun on there, and I get emails every day about, hey, can we be on your blog? So I must be breaking through, right?
You're doing something right. Yeah.
Um, but you got to always stick with it, because at first, like you'll get no views or maybe one or two. It might be your mom or dad or sister, um, but then you start breaking through. And the best example of that is, have you ever seen Horton Hears a Who?
No.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's a Dr. Seuss movie,
Okay.
but long story short, there's a part where the little people are in this little world, and there's a big elephant that hears them, but nobody else hears them.
Hmm.
So they have to break through to convince the town that the elephant is in that they are there, they're alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The long story short, it's they make all this noise and they break through the stratosphere. And it's such a great example because when you're doing social media, YouTube, all these things, you're going to start off and do a bunch of videos, probably even hundreds.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, is this worth it? But you got to think yes, because eventually you'll break through. And then people, you can use that in your marketing
Yeah.
to, hey, by the way, I have a show and I do this. It's like my YouTube show. Actually, here we go. Um, I got to show you this. This is a
Oh,
personalized
wow.
clip with my show logo. Yeah, and the website. These things have generated tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
in sales because people hold on to them, and it's
Hmm.
got a magnet.
It's useful.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's old school, but people love this. So you can do things online and then incorporate it into print marketing or promo swag.
Yeah.
And then you can build yourself and anybody can do this. You can be a plumber and you can do this and share tips. You can be a local hairstylist and share tips or how to do, they actually do well on video. So it's really a cool thing to just take
Yeah.
advantage of platforms.
We spoke about this a little bit before when we started filming, and you were just saying how some people don't have the confidence to go out and film those videos. And like you've just said as well, it can be a bit time consuming. It can take 100 videos before you get noticed, or even sometimes a lot more than that. So what would you say the right, balance is? How much time do you put in before you give up? And how do you build that confidence to even get on the camera and film your first video? And if some people might not have the equipment and stuff like that, and so what is that balance? How do you pluck up the courage to, film that first video?
Well, so the courage comes from, okay, knowing that people don't care.
Okay.
People don't care if your hair's this way
Yeah.
or you nicked yourself shaving or this and that. People don't care. They care
Yeah.
about the content and they care about, okay, what are you sharing with me?
Yeah.
Um, People have this fear that, oh well, I don't like how I look on video, and so I don't want to do it. Well, that's fine, but somebody else isn't thinking that way, and if they are, they're not the right match for you.
Yeah.
I can tell you firsthand, I don't like how I am on video. I don't like my voice, how it sounds on audio.
I don't think
But
anyone does.
no, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are our own worst critic and
Yeah.
hate. Um, I've been in family photos where I'm like, oh my gosh, don't post that. I'll tell my wife, don't post that, please.
Yeah.
Um,
I can
but at
relate.
the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's about helping people. And think about it this way: it's selfish of you to have information that someone can benefit from and you don't share that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that everybody has a story to tell, a book. Everybody should have their own book,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody has something to share. And if you don't share that with people, then it's selfish,
Yeah.
you know? And then two, the equipment, the beautiful thing about that is all you need is your cell phone. I mean, our cell phones, whether you're on Samsung or quite honestly iPhone or any other phone, it really doesn't matter as long as it's somewhat newer because the cameras have improved.
Yeah.
Um, but they're great for video. 90 something percent of my videos are filmed on my iPhone. And I have apps where if I'm on the go or if I'm out of town, I can actually do up a video, edit it quick, and post it to YouTube. For my show, I use software. I actually use $90 software that I got at Best Buy.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, yeah, it doesn't like
It doesn't take too much.
it doesn't take too much.
No.
No, people can do that. Amazon has wireless microphones
Yeah.
for iPhones. I mean, they're not that much money. So you don't have to have an extravagant, setup, especially to get started. Just use your iPhone and just record. I do recommend having something where you can see yourself, so that
Yeah.
because you want to make sure that you're actually in the shot.
Yeah.
And if you're going to have words on the screen, highlight points, then you want to have more space on the side where you can put your graphics. But otherwise, you don't need fancy equipment. It's so easy to just create videos. And video is taking off huge. Everybody's adapting. It's so huge. Like Facebook wants to eventually compete with YouTube for video. That's why if you share a video on on Facebook, instead of a picture, your video will go farther.
Okay. And like, so with that as well, so there's so many different channels that we can use and so many different platforms. How do you find out what the right content for each of those platforms are? If they are competing, surely there's some sort of gap there that's, they can be quite similar. But do you find that there's some things that work a little bit better on YouTube and some things that work better on Facebook or any other platforms out there?
Yeah, I think in terms of YouTube, you can put just about any content out there.
Yeah.
Well, like someone has to decide, okay, am I an educator or am I an entertainer?
Okay.
You can be a little bit of both. Don't get me wrong. You can make it fun, right?
Yeah.
The info that you're sharing could be fun, but you have to have a grand scheme in mind. Like, okay, I'm more of an educator, and that's kind of where I'm at. But I know people, I know fellow agents that go on Instagram and they do shorter, funnier videos. They'll do stuff where they're, I don't know, going into a meeting.
Dances, yeah.
yeah. And they're like, I got my coffee.
Yeah.
If you want to buy or sell a home, stuff like that. And that's fun. Now, I will tell you that Facebook has somewhat of an older demographic. So some will like the more fun content and some won't.
Okay.
The people that I know, yeah, they would like more fun stuff. But when you go on Instagram, I've been told that it's a younger demographic. And so one, their attention span is going to be like, hardly there. So you got to do something to catch them.
Yeah.
Which is why in my weekly show, I do like a catch intro. So I'll say, in this episode, I'm going to share with you five ways to time for some more coffee. And, I'm going to share.
It's 9 a.m. for you. It's okay.
Yeah. And it's like, okay. And then I have a brief music, come on in, and then I get the show. So you want to have something that actually pulls them in.
Mm-hmm.
But then I do other videos where it's just a rant. It's just, hey guys, Jason Gelios here. Did you hear that so-and-so is updating this and that? And it's a brief rant straight to the point.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately it just depends on who you're connected with.
Yeah. And who your target audience is as well, right? So like you know, knowing who your target audience is will help you to find out what content you should be posting on what platform you should kind of be targeting.
Right. And you can always mix it up too.
Yeah.
I've shown homes where they were in disarray. I mean, they were terrible. And so I would share a picture. Like I have one where I shared a photo of a house that had spray paint all over the
Oh,
kitchen.
wow. Okay.
It looked like a kitchen. So I said, check out this kitchen. And people were like, what? And they were, so you want to have it
Yeah.
some, and then, mix it up. But you have to
Mix it up.
ultimately decide, okay, am I an educator or a full-blown entertainer?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So with that, how has your journey on social media been? How has it been, finding your audience on social media and connecting with people and engaging? And it's a
yeah,
daily task. It's a continuous task. But
always.
how have you found that?
So it took a long time before I started actually showing up in my Google alerts.
Okay.
I mean, it took, quite honestly, probably 2 to 3 years when I first started my weekly show. And I'm in the process of trying to do more videos, trying to almost go daily with brief videos
Okay.
or fun things, which is, you know, it's interesting. It does take a lot of work, but
Yeah.
you have to know that it's in the long term, you're building your brand
Yeah.
and you're putting yourself out there, you're building legacy, right? And you're going to reach the masses as long as you stay at it, but you got to stay at it. You got to not care if one of your videos gets, 0 views or 3 views, but then another one gets, hundreds.
Yeah.
On the short term, especially when I was starting off, I said, okay, I'm creating video because I can use it hyper locally. And so in the short, well, actually short and long term. But when you're starting out, think, okay, how can I do video for people around me in my neighborhood, my area, my friends, my family on Facebook or Instagram? How can I help them? And so, like, you want to just focus on that at first. Don't worry about if you show up in Google or if your video gets a bunch of views right now. Just know that, okay, you're trying to set yourself apart from others. I know agents who post the same thing as other agents on social media. They don't do video or anything. They just say, find out how much your house is worth. Find out how much your house is worth. And all these agents, and I see the same kind of posts.
Yeah.
But when someone anybody, by the way, you don't have to be a real estate agent. You can be a plumber, hairstylist, the local baker, whoever. If you have a business or something, or even if you're the local car sales rep, right? I have a buddy who works for a dealership and he shares pretty cool videos
Yeah.
of what's in stock, and he's in my area, and some car shopping tips. So you want to think, okay, local, who can I help out right now? And I want to stand out too, right?
Yeah.
So when someone's scrolling through their Facebook feed or Instagram or even the YouTube feed and they see just a post, okay, that's like everyone else. But when they see
Yeah.
you talking, which most social media, especially on people's phones, it auto plays. And when they're like, what's Jason saying? Then they click on it, you have more engagement. And
Yeah.
people are, oh, that's so cool, right? And if they like it, then their friends see it. So short term, figure out how you want to help your local market and those that you already know, your sphere of influence, which, by the way, you can put your videos into a weekly or monthly email newsletter. Hey, check out the videos, which I do that as well. So you can use it, wherever. But then long term, think, okay, eventually I'm going to break through the noise because
Hmm.
it is noisy out there, but I'm going to break through, and then people are going to find me organically. So they're going to find me, somebody who doesn't know me is going to be like, realtor in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
And then, your videos will show up, and what you posted is out there. And I think that's so cool. So you got to think that way, but it will take time. It's going to take a lot of
A
time.
lot of time. Yeah. I think what you're saying is, I mean, it will take time, but it definitely is worth it. And your viewpoint is so interesting because I think a lot of people, especially starting out on social media and doing the videos and stuff, you just kind of gravitate towards doing what everyone else is doing because it's working for some people. But what you're saying about standing up from the crowd and, you know, being yourself and how you share your own personal life and you have those channels where you can do that is so interesting that I don't know. I think many people don't really do that. They just kind of, you know, copy what everyone else is doing. But doing that, it's very hard to then break out and stand up from the crowd and really find your community and your audience and people that want to engage with your content because they genuinely like you and like what you do and want to work with you. You know, and not just I don't know, see your content and then just kind of think, oh, like that's a cool sound that you're using over there or something like that. So I really like what you're saying. It's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think people shouldn't copy what others are doing.
Yeah.
I think they should be inspired by it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but they shouldn't try to be someone that they're not. Most of the time, when it's warmer here in Michigan, which is rare, by the way, actually, but most of these warmer days, like 65 and up for me,
Yeah.
I wear a polo and I do videos. Sometimes I'm in a shirt and tie, okay, but I just put out the content and I'm me.
Yeah.
I know people who don't even get dressed up for video. They just share a video, and that's okay because you want to be yourself. You want to be authentic.
Hmm.
You don't want to be this person, and then when they meet you in real life, in reality, you're somewhat different, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, it's not quite the same. You want to just be real.
Yeah.
Um, I don't do a lot of jump cuts of my video, where I actually edit out, this and that. I leave it, you
Hmm.
know, unless it's a crazy long pause, which I've gotten better at that. But you just want to be real. You don't want to be you don't want to be too manufactured to where they're like, okay, he seems
Yeah.
fake. You want to be real, like how you and I are talking. This is how we would talk if you met me on the street.
Yeah.
And you had a question, hey,
Yeah.
uh, there's no facade.
No.
And so I think that's extremely important. And that helps people, I feel it helps people get over their fear of doing video because they're focused too much on what people will think of them, but they're not focused enough on building their brand, taking advantage of video, which is huge right now, and providing that value, throwing that value out, because people want great information, and when they know you, it's even better. Or when they come across your stuff. Now, I will share with you this tip too: that whether you're on Facebook, I believe Instagram too, YouTube especially, is when you upload a video, there's I don't want to say a hidden part, but the public doesn't see it, and you put in keywords.
Okay.
So whatever your topic is, right? Which I'm sure you guys know this, but whatever your topic is, you say, okay, like for example, if I share a video on the top 5 flooring choices for resale value, I'm going to put that in the keywords, and then I'm going to put in my area, my title, what I do, and so that helps you get found easier. So like, I do Southeast Michigan
Yeah.
realtor, so if somebody's doing a search for that, hopefully I have a better chance of popping up.
Of being seen by your audience. Yeah, that's great. That's a
So
great tip. Yeah. And just last before we wrap up as well. So you've got a book that came out in 2019, I believe.
yes.
Yeah, and you've got another book coming. Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even see that before. And you've got another book coming out in October, yeah?
Yes, thank you for
So
asking. Actually,
yeah.
yeah, so I'm a huge fan of books.
Yeah.
And I love doing social media selling and all that stuff, but I also felt that there was a need for me to share my thoughts into a book format.
Okay.
And so this is a shameless plug, but you brought it up. So this is my book, Think Like a Realtor.
Yeah.
It's half real world situations without the addresses and names shared, but it's real world situations that I have encountered. And then I also share actual real estate tips on buying and selling. And so I created the book, I self-published it. Because I'm not looking to be a New York Times bestseller. Not, I just wanted to have something that I can give out to potential clients. But what's great is that this is actually selling on Amazon, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And then I am actually in the process of designing my second book, which is more of a passion project.
Yeah.
It's called Beating the Force of Average, and it kind of ties into what we're talking about today about overcoming fear of doing something, and gaining the courage that you need to find success. It's really a passion project that I created, and it's coming out October 2022.
Yeah.
But it's a book to help people create a life that they really want to live. I don't even know, years and years and years ago, right? I was in the position where I felt like I didn't have purpose, I didn't have drive, I didn't even have goals. I was just kind of like hanging out, like, okay, working daily and just, for lower pay. And now I'm like, there's got to be more to this, right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like there's more. And I had met my wife, and she had goals. She was driven. She was in college to become a nurse, and I was watching her focusing and studying on this stuff, and I'm like, what can I do for myself, right? And so I made that change, and I learned all these things over the years about how to get success for ourselves. And so this is a passion project that I'm extremely excited about. And again, it'll actually be out October 2022, but
Yeah.
I feel, like I said, I feel everybody has something to share, and everybody should at least write a book. It takes time. This one
Hmm.
took me about a year to write. My first book took about a year and a half.
Yeah.
I finally gave myself a deadline, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. And then I'm like, oh, and I told people about it on Facebook. I said, I'm writing a book, and it's going to be out, in 2019. And people are like, oh, cool. And I'm like, oh, I got to stick with this.
Yeah. You've made a
But
promise now. Yeah.
yeah, but I think too, people can do that with video.
Hmm.
Commit to doing one video a week, right?
Yeah.
Start off, do it. Don't do multiple takes. Do like one or two. Choose the one you like and just do it. But commit to it. Give yourself a deadline. Upload it, and don't worry about
Would
it.
that be your top tip then for people that do want to start video content or want to start making content and value content for their audiences, no matter what business they're in? Would that be your biggest tip that you can give?
Yes, it's commit to doing at least one video a week.
Yeah.
Something valuable. Don't make it all about yourself. Offer something, like I mentioned, the plumber. A plumber could do a quick video. It doesn't have to be professional lighting and all that stuff, just a real video. Hey, here's how you change out a faucet.
Yeah.
And don't worry about how many other plumbers have done that, because one, your personality is different, right? People are going to connect with you. And two, from a hyper local standpoint, people who know you are going to be like, I knew he was a plumber, but wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And people get to see that you're still doing it. I've had people that I've connected with years ago that have seen my videos, and they actually reached back out to me because, oh, okay, they know that I'm still doing what I do. So commit to once a week. Just do it. Just hit record, do it. Edit out the front part and the back part so you don't have so much dead space,
Yeah.
like sitting there for 5 seconds, and then um and really locate channels. If you're not already subscribed to them, locate other channels that you find inspiring and kind of feed off of that. Like, oh, I like how they do this. I like how they say their name first, or I like how they just get into it. But just commit once a week. Really do that, and then it becomes addicting. You're like, wow, what
A
else can I share?
habit. Yeah.
It's a habit, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Jason. It's been great talking to you. Thank you for coming
You too.
on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's it, guys, for this episode of the Maverrik podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.